Okay, so what do you mean by the file server? Who can tell me? What do you mean by the file server? Guys, who can tell me what do you mean by the file server? Hello? What do you mean by the file server?
Everything is file, like in Unix, everything is considered as a file in server.
Everything is considered as file. What do you mean by the everything?
From operating system to like even what a root, like what do you call it, the application, everything is like kind of an application, and like applications, everything that are like stored as a file in like in server.
Application is stored as file. What do you mean by that? I am simple asking what do you mean by file server?
It is nothing but storage server.
Sorry?
Storage server.
It's a file server. I am asking what do you mean by the file server? File server is simple. File server can contain the files, even software dump, even software files, even database files, anything you want, it can store. So all kind of files here, it's called a blobs. Whenever we learn the Azure cloud storage, we'll learn about the blobs. Blobs means any kind of files which is stored, the server is called a files. It may be Excel files, it may be Word file, it may be Outlook PST, it may be whatever, anything, any kind of binaries, it's called the blobs or file servers. Okay, so let's consider you guys are working on files or MIS teams. Okay, so generally as per your company norms, the company have a file servers. All the members in the company, they have individual desktop or laptop. And I'm telling you basically in call center, okay, basically in call center, what they do, they are maintaining one of the Excel files, okay, that Excel sheet called a master copy. This Excel is called master copy. Master copy of Excel, because everyone is updating this file. Got it? So he have do some input, then after that he have done some input, then he is done some input, then he is done some input, and centrally everyone is updating. That means the file is shared. Now if the file is shared, definitely the file we have to save somewhere, right? Either in Windows Server or either in NFS storage or storage box, sandbox. So definitely it has been stored anywhere. Now whenever you want to access that file, how will you access? Go to your run, start, run, and then you will access like, first you have to put the file server IP address 10.10.10.11. This is a file server IP address. Then folder name, let's say folder name is my work, and then you want to access the file that you worked. That means let's say it will be work details dot xlsx. Okay, this is the Excel file. You want to open this file, so you have to go start, run, and then you have to type this enter path. The Excel will open. Now where these Excel files are opening, it's opening from any of the servers, right? It's called file server. Where my file was stored, it's called file server. Simple. I'm asking, what do you mean by the file server? Where my files are stored. File means what? Anything. Let's say doc file, let's say PDF file, let's say yes, Excel file, let's say PST, let's say JPEG, let's say any kind of things. It's called altogether blobs. Any unshaped, unformatted, any kind of files, it's called the blobs. That servers will contain the blobs or files, it's called a file server. Simple. Now, as I told, that whenever you are opening that location, a file from that particular location, from this is the server IP address, 10.10.10.11 is the IP address of your file server. Now it is contacting to that particular server and opening the files. Now, guys, tell me, if this server is crashed, will you able to work? Will you able to open that Excel cell? Will you able to open that Excel sheet?
No.
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 No. Now what happened? If your manager say that we have one of the file server and that file server is very important, and every day during working hours the people are simultaneously working that Excel files. If this server somehow hacked or somehow not hacked, if this server somehow crash, then it will be a huge business loss. How we can redundant that file server, so that in case a file server 1 is crashed, another file server will work at the same point of time. Even end users will not even understood which file server is working. So how will I do that? I am just asking you the concept. Definitely I will tell everyone, along with theory, practical, everything I will tell you. Just wanted to know minimum consulting or minimum consulting knowledge from everyone, so that it will be enhance your knowledge. What do you think? How I implement. I am not telling you, asking anyone about the steps. I want to know about the little bit of implementation plan. How I do that? Who can give me the answer? How I do that?
Like adding a different file server,
okay.
Like a child file
okay.
server. Probably.
Perfect. So I am telling you, I am adding the file server, defining file servers. Okay. Then my question, whenever I am asking this particular path. Got my point? Then how come each shared drive know which server I have to connect? Now, how to do? Now how to do? Tell me. Who can tell?
Both can be given same path.
Both can be?
Both can be given same path, probably.
No. That means you are telling both having the same IP address.
Maybe we can distribute the files between servers.
Partially it's correcting. Yes. You are distributing that files. Okay, fine. You are telling that as per your knowledge, if I give 5 GB here, I have to give them 5 GB here, right? As per your knowledge, right?
No, sir. What I was trying to say is that suppose there are maybe 5 folders which we normally use. So instead of keeping them, in one server, we can actually we can distribute them as per the usage on.
How? My question is how. My question is how I can distribute. Okay, not a problem. I will tell you. So apart from this, Gopal, anyone want to try? So guys, at least try. Whatever in your mind, at least say something. Whatever in your mind, so that it will improve your knowledge skills as well as thinking power as well as concept. Because see, in IT infrastructure, it's a place where no one will give you a continuous knowledge. After some time, you have to consult. Then will be a consultant. If everyone will tell you, then no meaning of your working here. So I'm telling you each and every which I'm telling you, just make a habit. Any kind of technology, whatever, before we start, I want to know the minimum concept. What do you mean by that? How? I am not telling you the individual steps. I am telling you give me some concept. What is your mind about it? Regarding distributed file server. What do you mean by the distributed? And what do you mean by the file server? How they are connecting? What is the mechanism behind it? That I want to ask. I know that no one will know because I will tell you in depth. But I wanted to know that minimum whatever in your mind. Let's say A, B, C, D, whatever in your mind, tell me. Just tell, at least try. That I want to know. Okay, perfect. So this picture, this, just remember this picture. You got my point? Just remember this picture. Now this is my Excel sheet that I want to know. I want to open anyhow. I don't know which file server is work because client is just like this. Every client, it's like a bullshit. He does not know about the technicalities. He does not know about any kind of challenges. He want to know only money and solution. He's spending money, engineer will provide the solution. How he will go, I don't know. This kind of client will work. Okay. So in this scenario, client telling you, see, I have a centralized share path or share application, and let's say it's not an Excel sheet. It may be a share application. Now all my clients are simultaneously working in a day. Then only these sheets are updating. But I want to redundant that this particular servers will, any of the specific file server is working here. Now what about this server is down? Then what happened? Then we can assume them, we can create 3, 4, 5 redundant servers, and all are connected each other, right? Now whenever we want to open the path, let's say //IP 10.10.10.11 /my work something /excel.excel, then it is actually calculate who is my nearest one and create the connection between with them. And now let's say from this particular server your Excel sheet has opened. Now you have put your Excel sheets, you have updated your Excel sheets, these servers. Now at the end the server disk space was 5 GB. You got my point? At the end server disk space was 5 GB. That means 5 GB you have worked today. Now you go there, your office is end. Now everyone is leave the office. Now next day whenever you come, you say that this particular server was crashed, but everyone is working. How? Because same thing will redirect it from this particular server or this particular server. Both cannot be work at the same time. Anyone can be redirected at the same point of time. My question, if this particular server last day the size was 5 GB, how come then who copy that file from this server to other two servers? If anyone not copy, then how come morning people are working from here? Because they have the same level of data that last day this server have, and after that of everyone is left from the office, this server was crashed. Then how come people are working in the morning? Who copied that files? What is the mechanism behind it? What is the mechanism behind it?
Probably like it's server like we like what do you call it?
Sorry?
How we transfer the role? Can we do it here also?
No. I'm saying that if that is done, if that primary server is done, crash, okay, then what about who is tell that files to everyone? So in between all the file server, there is a mechanism called replication. That means whatever their data, this data will synchronize to all the file server. Now if this is crash, any one of the server will connect and start working at the same point of time. Now my question, as I'm opening that file 10.10.10.11, is that all three servers having the same IP address? Is this possible? Then how come this is work? Who can tell? Who can
Probably it may direct to some when entering 10.10.10.11 it may direct to some different server.
No.
We can change in.
No. So in DFS concept, no, this I forget about the IP address. Because the problem what happened, you know that file server IP address 10.10.10.11. Now what about the new joining? Who has recently joined? He don't know nothing. How many times he will tell them the IP address? So DFS, whenever the DFS comes into the picture, he is telling, boss, forget about your IP address. Now onwards, the share path will be always open by your domain name. What is your domain name? Let's say bt.com. Let's say your domain name is bt.com. Then share path will be available with this only. bt.com/mywork and finally Excel file. So this IP address was replaced by the domain. Got my point or not? Everyone new joinee, come here, you will type / and you will find out that all the namespace under this share path. Guys, tell me at least, I am not understanding. What about your situation? You are understanding or not? If you all are silent, then how will I know that? At least say yes, I am understanding, or what if the happening, what problem? Because if you are not something saying, but I can directly go. You got my point? This is very critical things. At least ask question so that I understood that your concept is building. If you are silent, then I what to tell? Because here IP address is no longer works. Instead of IP address, you call them with your domain name and namespace. Namespace for what? What do you mean by the namespace? Namespace you can say just like a department, or it can be a name like this. That means if your folders will contain all the worksheets of your employee, then you can name the namespace that like employee worksheet. Under this employee worksheet, the folder will be there. You got my point? Then it's look like in DFS model, it's look like /bt.com/mywork/employee data. And then Excel file, whatever you kept the file there. Same wise, even the same namespace, I want to store employee background. So it's look like this /bt.com/mywork/employee background /Excel. Is that clear? Is that clear? Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how DFS comes into the picture. Now you don't concern, you do not have any concern which server work or which server not work. If any of the file server is crashed, even you don't know, other one easily work in the background. So that is why, what are the prerequisites we need? The prerequisites to create the DFS, first prerequisite is DC or name space server, at least 2, right? Next is file server, at least 2. Third is file share, depending on file server. That means how much you have a file server, that much of share you need to create. Fourth is file or folder replication group. These 4 are the prerequisites it's required to perform this practical. Now can anyone tell me, this is the very easiest question, at least how many computers you need to perform this practical?
2 computers.
2 computers. Just check and tell me how many computers you need.
2 computers with the common storage.
2 computer for DC, 2 file server. That means at least 4 server you need.
Done.
Clear? Now what do you mean by the namespace server? What I mentioned, DC/namespace. Namespace is a role. You got my point? That means this is now, it's accessing over the name or domain name instead of IP address. Then definitely someone provide the name or resolve the name to IP address or IP to name. Who is doing that? This is a role, Microsoft role. It's called DFS namespace role. So if you configure the DFS namespace role, then my question, where this role are hosted? All this domain controller will hosted this namespace role. That is why I'll tell you DC on namespace server. How much you have a DC? Definitely it's at least 2 DC it's required. You can configure 1 DC, this is not a problem, but at least 2 domain controller it's required, because if 1 domain controller is crashed, another can at least work. Clear? File server, definitely, as you are redundanting your file server, so definitely at least 2 file server you need, or 3, 4, 5, how much you can do. Even you can place that file server geographically. That means one of the file server is in UK, another will be US, or another will be in Africa. Geographically you can distribute that file servers. Where there is no locations is constraints. Because one of the sites can be problem. Let's say UK, there is a huge storm, or maybe it's India, where is a huge storm or any kind of problem happen. Other 2 countries will work, no doubtly. So these are the things we need. So first what we need to create, okay, hold on, just a minute. Hello? Sorry? Welcome. Yes, tell me. Okay, actually I'm in leave today, so we'll check on Monday. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm not in the system. I actually leave today. Okay, so I'll Monday आप call करो मैं आपको दिखा दूँगा. Okay. Okay, fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all will be there, right? So now what I need to do? We need 2 domain controller. We need 2 file servers. Perfect. Let's go to that lab. Okay.
So you will create 4 machines, right?
Yes. हाँ, आपको एक नंबर दे रहा हूँ, आप उससे कांटेक्ट करो, वो आपको हेल्प कर देगा. ठीक है? उसका नाम है सौम्या.
ओके सर, एसएमएस कर सकते हैं ना सर अभी?
हाँ ठीक है, मैं उसका नंबर एसएमएस कर दे रहा हूँ. Then let me draw the picture first for the architecture. Okay, so it's look like this. This is your first namespace server, domain controller. This is your another domain controller. Middle of there is a file server. Okay, now domain controller, as it is protecting everyone, perfect. So every file server there is a storage shared drive I will create, and every namespace server there is a namespace role install, right? So now let's leveling that part. This is a namespace role. Okay, where is on DC server. So let me rename it DC underscore namespace 01, and this is DC underscore namespace 02. Okay, and this is the domain controller, as I told you. All are the domain controller. Domain controller perfect. This is what? This is a share path where you place your files. Okay, this is a share path of file server 01. This is a shared path of file server 02. Got it? This particular server name is file server 01, and this particular file server 02. Perfect. So file server 01, what the capability have? They have a share path or share drive where he can file that store. That is a share path 1, and the same thing share path 2. And every file server also have file server role. That means DFS replication role installed, same as DFS replication role. Got it? In middle of that there is a synchronization. In middle of that, in between these two file server, not this share, I am telling you these two file server, there will be a synchronization. So all the files should be synchronized. This entire things I will configure. Got it? Please look it carefully, because once I will perform it, I will check yes, 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 green, 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 so that your doubts will be clear perfectly. Clear? At least say yes or no. Keep silent. What do you mean by that? You are watching or not?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, my first namespace server was completed. Now as per this practical role model, I will make a clone of 4 machines. So I'll make a clone. This will be DFS namespace 2. A drive. Okay, so as per the prerequisites, my domain controller not yet confirmed, just configure, it's just install. Okay, then I will make another clone for file server. File server 01. I need another file server. Okay, so let's not yet configure, just mark that server was built. File server 1, file server 2. Perfect. Now what I want, make the power one by one. Just run and do sysprint.
You won't make them in the same network?
Obviously, all in the same networks. All will be working the same networks. If this is in the different continent, let's say the file server located on US and UK, but have to synchronize in the network, right? So that is a different things. How the middle, how the network team connection established, that is their headache. But this server should ping this server, this server should ping that server, this server should ping this server, this server should ping this server. Everything in the same networks. So I will start this one.
Actually, I'm talking about VM net 0. You haven't done that VM net 0?
Yes, I will do. Don't worry. All I will do sequentially. Okay, all 5 DC are now in the same network. All 5 server are now 4 server and some all in the same networks, and it's a branded new by sys configuration. Okay, so last I'm going to promote the DC namespace 01, create the first domain mybt.com. I will then DC namespace 2 will be joined as the additional domain controller. Then those two file server 1 will be part as a domain computer. We'll add them as a domain. Then I will install the namespace role. I will create the share folders. I will install the DFS replication roles, 2 servers, create replication synchronization, and then fine. Okay. Sorry. So definitely I have to change the name, or else it will create a problem. It's DC underscore name space 01. Okay. Please, please. Marxism. File server 02. This is my 13 IP address and domain controller first IP address 10.10.10.10 and second domain controller address is 10.10.10.11. Let's start. Perfect. So as usual, I am installing the ADDS role. Promote this server to a domain controller. My forest name is bt.com. Now once this domain controller is up, then I will install the DFS namespace rule on it. That is why I mentioned DC underscore namespace. That means both domain controller as well as namespace server will be there. Clear? As usual, it will take some time because the configuration is updating in the background. Perfect. Now what I'm just go and configure and install DFS namespace role. So add namespace. You will find out that namespace rule where you have to come here, files and storage, here, and there is DFS namespace. DC will install DFS namespace, file server will install DFS replication. Don't be confused. Okay. These two DC will install DFS namespace, these two file server will install DFS replication. It's clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Then as per the architecture, this was my done. All those steps has been done. Perfect. Okay. Now jump to the next domain controller. Okay, let's do one thing, create one users so that it will work at least instead of this. Let's say set and I'm giving them domain admin rights. Now what I need to do, I will just add them into the domain before I add them as an additional domain controller. But before that, if I not give the proper IP address and DNS, it will not work. Level okay. What is the issue? Could not be contacted. Why? Let's stop the firewall then. Still have doubt. Okay, what is the problem?
Actually, it will be bt.com.
Good, very good, very good. Appreciate. Why 192.168.0.9? Oh, sorry. It was
Not initially, that's so I was wondering also.
It was only okay, no problem. Then there is options. If this is happened, do not change anything. You got my point? Your enter setup will be choked because your DC already promote. Then do what you need to do, just put the same command until and unless if it is not take the APIPA, then you can use this IP address. Nothing is usual. It is taking DHCP from my base machine, not a problem. 192.168.0.9. This is the domain controller IP address. Don't worry, and nothing, just mention it. DNS entry will be the same. Because if domain controller promotion done, after that you are changing IP address, it will be finish your enter setup. Okay. Then I will change the IP segment for all the systems. One 192.168.0.8 0.10. and this will be now it is find out the DNS. Okay. I think this name has some problem. Anyway, now in administrator it is taking local administrator. You got my point? It is taking local administrator. For domain level you have to do these same things. Now it is selecting domain administrator. As usual, this time I will do Active Directory Domain Based Services as well as NFS. Okay. DFS namespace. And promote the same. If I click on this, it's already in bt.com add domain controller to an existing domain. As you know, additional domain controller promotions.
like install when we are creating one approximately?
How many domain controller?
No, how many roles? Like you have installed now 2 roles, right? File name server and sorry, namespace server and forest, right? When you created this, so like this, how many roles are like basically at least required if we create a forest?
Okay, so for your information, how many time you will eat in a day? How many time you will eat? Breakfast,
Alright.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, and
Uh,
evening snacks, right?
I don't get that.
No. I'm just giving you confusion.
Yeah.
So during your breakfast, will you able to complete your evening snacks? Or during your evening snacks, will you able to complete your breakfast?
No.
No. Why? A domain controller is very sensitive. What is the necessary you have to install? Rest of that, no. For role installation configuration, it's for this member server. Domain controller only need a specific role. That's what. Domain controller will not use for any application configuration. Apart from this necessary role like DFS, DHCP, that's only. NPS, but domain, if you want to configure anything, but unnecessary, you cannot install the roles, right? It will create your CPU, junk CPU files, and it will create a problem. Why you are going to install? If this is not mandatory or this is not required, then why you are going to install it? My question is like that. Whenever it's required, you have to go. But whenever it is not required, you don't need to install. There is so many roles features are there. Whatever the necessary that I already told you in prerequisites. That I already told you in prerequisites. That this much things is required. So this much only you have to do. Got my point? Until yeah. Carry on.
Like in the second lecture, you told us that we can host a website on a server. Can we do the same thing for application also?
Yes, that only you have to install IIS, FTP whenever you need. For different purpose, Microsoft configure different role. All will be tell here. Don't worry, brother. Everything will tell you. Everything you know you here in terms of server technologies and Active Directory. But my question: how much you will digest? I will tell you everything. All spicy food I'll tell you. Now it's up to you and your liver. How will you digest? Nine is my primary domain controller. 10 is my secondary domain controller. Additional domain controller. This will be 11. And then what I need to do? I'll do the DNS. So 192.168.0.9 is my primary domain controller. 192.168.0.10 is my secondary domain controller. If you have a more than 2 domain controller, then how will you give that IP address? Then you have to go advanced DNS and you have to add another DNS IP address. Whatever you have, 5 DNS, 5, 6, 7, up to ample amount of DNS server we can add here. Got it?
Yeah.
Administrator. Okay, but before this, restart, I will install what roles as I told. Which role I install in file server? I just told few minutes back. DFS replication role. Okay. And I will create this share path. So for that only I need a separate drive. So for that only I will go to settings, add, let's say 30 GB trip spice you need. Whenever you add files there, this will install, okay? That's my computer will not show that. Then what you need to do, go to the run and you have to go the disk mgmt.msc. Done. Perfect. Then you have to go there and create one share path for my work or employee underscore works, and I will share that files. Sharing everyone. Got it? Then I will just restart. And same like you have to go and install. First you need to add them into the domain. For that only cpa and change the IP address. Nine, 10, 11, 12. So it will be 12. One 192.168.0.9. Okay, fine. So all will be not, I will not restart now, restart later, and side by side I will configure roles as well. Which role? DFS replication role. install. Side by side I will add disk space. Clear? Add hard disk 30. Okay. Fine. Go to disk mgmt.msc online, initialize disk, new simple volume, next, finish. Perfect. I will create shared inside this. What was the earlier shared name? It was employee underscore works. And I will make it property sharing, share everyone. Done. And reboot. I have already installed this DFS rules, right? I have installed or not? No one is observing. Anyway.
I think you have installed.
Restart. Okay, now I am going to the planning part and let's figure out what I have done. So now this was done, this was done, this was done, this was done. Okay, this was done, this was done. Now there is the main configuration part is remain. Perfect. So let's first what to do. I will go and log into DFS namespace server 1. Okay. Now what I need to do in order to configure the DFS, first you have to run these all prerequisites. Once it is done, then you have to run the command dfs mgmt.msc. Okay, one more computer I need that will work as a normal laptop. Okay, so I'm just need one more machines. Okay, so you can say it's a laptop machine. So this is the Windows 10 machines. Laptop or desktop. Desktop. Okay, this machine will work, and middle of that we will configure the DFS. This is for the testing purpose. You got my point? This is your client machines. That means end user machines. This is the enter file server configuration. So file server I cannot give anyone, right? So I will give them normal desktop or laptop. So that I am creating. And that should be in the part of domain join machines. This should be it will be what in the background. Okay, it will be installed, and meanwhile we will configure that part. So this is your DFS management console has opened. Now what you need to do, you are going to configure your DFS namespace. So right now there is no namespace. Okay, so you have to go and create. If you see that add namespace to display, there is no namespace configured. And now what I need to do, create new namespace. What is your namespace? As I told you, this was your namespace. Any namespace you can. That is my work. Under the my work, you will create separate folders. As much as I will show you only for employee data, and then after that another folder you can create. So let's create the my work namespace. So first you are going to do new namespace wizard. This is tell you to mention the server. So here I have to point it out my domain controller. That means DFS namespace 1. And what is the folder name? My work. Also click on this, it's look like this, /bt.com my work. It's look like this, as I told you, /bt.com my work. Instead of IP, it is assigned with name. Okay, also for information, DFS also have two types, domain based namespace and standalone namespace. So standalone namespace generally enterprise not use it. 99.99 cases you will get the domain based namespace. A standalone namespace without domain it will work, so no need to use it. Now it is creating the namespace, injecting and configure the namespace on DC01. After the namespace create, I will add another namespace server into this same namespace. Namespace create successfully. Now in this namespace, how many namespace server there? Only DFS namespace 01. Then what I need to do to be in the namespace, if namespace is not reachable, file server will not work. So I have to redundant the namespace as well, right? So in that case, I will add namespace server 2 as well. So in that case, DFS namespace 2 as well. If you have installed namespace on namespace server 2, it will inject successfully. Now the namespace part created successfully. But will that namespace, if you watch, will you able to get the folder, or neither you can up to save? If you go to there and search pt.com/mywork. mywork basically namespace, it is not a folder. Under that you cannot create any folder, anything, nothing, you cannot do anything, it's a namespace. So under namespace I will create folders. So here's the options, new folders. Folder name is what? Let's say employee data, employee underscore data. And what is my folder I have configured? That is a file server 1 and file server 2. So I have select here advanced file server 1, right? I will give them in file server 1 employee works. It is automatically pick up in. Perfect. So I will do employee works as well. And same thing I have to do another file server, because if you do not add the two share on two different file server, how will your data will be replicate? Got my point? So from here file server 2 will be there, same file server will come as share. If you have multiple share, then multiple share will come. Now see.
Hi there, I'm Cortana and I'm here to help. A little sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to do.
Okay, so just a minute. It having many story in Windows 2010, so let's have to install it. Okay. Employee. Okay, this is my Windows 10 desktop installed. Let him done the configuration part. Now why I'm creating the files. So under this namespace basically a virtualized. This namespace is basically virtual. Okay, so I mean in this particular namespace no one will be there. Okay, so who left that meeting in middle of that? Chetan there, Sunil there. Anyway, okay. So employee underscore works is the folder name, and then the two files are there remain. Okay. So generally concept I'm telling you, if you go there, bt.com is the domain, fine. Namespace is the my namespace is the name, and folder under this namespace folder till this is a virtual, there is no physical absence. Now this folder, virtual folder, actually point to the file server share path. Got my point? Got my point? Well, that is why while I am creating folder, it is actually pointing to actual to file server. Clear? Then it's asking, do you want to create the replication group? I say no. Domain controller, I will not create any replication group. So now this employee works as configured successfully. Got it? And you can see the two file servers are there. Perfect. Okay. Now if you want to say create another folder, employee background, fine, no problem. So in that case, same I need to do, same I have to create one folder there for share path. Employee underscore background. Okay. So same I have to go there. Okay. And create folders for share. Back. Okay. Now same thing you need to do. Same thing you need to do. Under my work, I will create another folder, and that folder have to share, or else it will won't work. Sharing, share, everyone. Okay. Perfect. Now what I need to do, I will create another folders. Under this new folder, employee underscore back, and I will point the actual target file server. File server 1. Okay. Now here two share comes, as I told. You have to select file employee underscore back. And same things you have to do for another file server. Employee underscore back. 2 has been done successfully. So no. So 2 folder under the same namespace you have created. My work. So under that you have created. Now what you need to do, you have to create a replication, or else I mean whenever, or else that means your files will be work. Now everything is work. Everything is work. Now in between that, these 2 replication will not work. So if this server connected, you did work, and tomorrow will come and you find that this server was crashed, then it will not work, because in middle of that you did not create the synchronization or replication group. So for that only replication groups, I have to go file server, and the same things I will open here. DFS mgmt.msc. So only you have to create once. You don't create both server. Any server you create, it will be applicable for the file 2. Same as I have created folder here, it is applicable for NFS namespace 2 as well. So don't be confused. Okay. So as you can see, there is no space. If you want to see that display, then you can add namespace to display. You see that there is one namespace right? You can create namespace as well, as I told you this way. So whether it is not works anyhow. So in the replication, I am going to create replication. Now here there is option new replication groups. Groups is what? Multi-purpose replication group. That means from replication will work here to there. Then it's look like this. What is the replication group name? So I am going to create the replication for employee underscore back. For this folder, I am going to create the replication groups. Perfect. Click on next and add replication server name. Okay. So I will go to there, advanced, find now. So find now. Okay. Add showing. Okay, let's close this, cancel. Just go and log off. Log in with domain administrator. bt/add administrator. Administrator. Okay. So what you need to do, you have to go replication again, because last time there was a problem that you were still locking with local administrator. So I'm going to DFS mgmt.msc again. You can come there to save, or else no problem. New replication groups, multi-purpose replication groups. Replication name is I am going to create for, that is why I am showing you. It will be helpful for you if you see there add namespace to display. Okay. Now for each folder you have to create replication group. Got my point? So now here add folder target. Now here employee back, commit changes error. Why? Okay, fine. Sorry, leave it. Replication, new replication group. Next. Okay. Replication name is employee underscore back. Okay. Click on next and you have to add your server. File server 1 and file server 2. If you forget to install the replication role on server 2, then it will be create a problem. So now both servers are there in the same page. Click on next. Now here this is the replication topology I am going to choose. Mesh topology. That means it will be replicate from here to here, from here to there, that means crosswise complex mesh topology file replication will works. I am utilizing full bandwidth. Click on next. What is your primary vendor? File server 1, 2, it will be work. And what is the path? I have to go and select the E drive employee underscore works. So which one I am going to create? For which one I am going to create? Tell at least why you are silent. Employee black or works?
Hello.
For which folder I am going to replication?
Works.
Employee works. Okay. And second things, it has been done. Add also. Okay. Click on OK, fine. Click on next. And for this server, go edit, enabled, and select the replication path. Employee works. Next. Now see how the replication will from server 2 to server 1, from server 1 to server 2. Create. Replication successfully done. Okay. And now again you have to create for employee back as well. So as I have created the name, so that was I wrongly done, but no worries, replication will works. So in that case I added new replication folder. So same things I will do. File server 1, next, add, browse, E, employee back. Okay, next, and here we'll go edit, enabled, browse, and employee back. Done. Next, create. All my setup has been done end to end. If I go to the picture, even sync, replication sync part also done successfully. Now I am showing you what are the changes has been done. So this is your Windows 10 server. But first I make them into the domain. Join into the domain, which is very mandatory. Okay. Put the IP address. Okay, this is settings. Zero dot, I will give it 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I will make it 13, 192, 168, 0 dot 9, 192, 168, 0 dot 10. I will add them into the domain. My employee underscore desktop domain was BT. Perfect. So here you have to put it BT slash administrator. Okay. Perfect. Let's want to restart my reset that user account I have created. Why not? Why it is not working? So seed properties set reset. Okay, let's join with employee. So you can join with Sid. Other user Sid. Now Sid is the user, right? Sid need a file server and everyday day-to-day works he need to do. Fine, no problem. Sid is not aware about all this configuration. How many domain controller, how many file server, background, whatever the things, he not aware on it. You got my point? So I'm creating one folders for your information. So new folders. Okay, so folder name is DFS. In this DFS, I will move all these stuffs. That means DFS folder contain file server, file server 1, file server 2, DFS namespace, everything. Seed is only users, right? Or I rename it employee desktop. He is just a domain join machines. Now Seed work and Seed need a file share. How will I know that? Seed is recently joined and he don't know where the share. He is very clever. He just put that domain name bt.com/. Once he done the slash, then he send that these two are different things. Netlogon sysball, it's a Active Directory folders. No, not like that. So this is my network is coming, my work. Select on this, and from there he again put the slash. Now he find two folders. Now his boss call open immediately employee underscore back and find out one Excels were there or create one file there. Immediately he open that files and click on there and create one files that my name Sid. Under this he created his work. Let's say anything, my work, and last day he put something, anything, whatever his work, he save it, right? He just save. Now what happened? Once he go to the office, out from the office, one of the file server was crashed. You got my point? Let's say file server 1 is crashed. Now I'm showing you. Now I'm telling you one thing. Now who can tell me that Sid was created one files under this namespace? Now just tell me where this file was created. Tell me. Which server file was created? File server 1 or file server 2? Who can tell me? Who can tell me?
Server 2.
Why? Server 1.
Why?
Because that is main domain.
No, it is not up to your hands. It is depending your DFS algorithm. DFS algorithm will choose or elect which file server initially you have to connect and works. and connection between the data synchronization will be done by background DFS replication. So let's go to the file server 1 and check is this file under their end. Let's see. If I go to this file server 1, go to the E drive, under employee works, blank, under employee back, there is a files. If I go to the file server 2, if I go to the folder E drive, employee back blank, seed, that is also there. That means first this was created 1 and then 2 was replicated. Clear? Now I am telling you, any of the file server was crashed. Seed even don't know. Seed just log off the session. Hello. Yes, I will. Yeah, I will send meeting invite in 20 minutes. I'm in existing batch. Okay. Okay. So now what happened? Sid log off, and then Singh went home. And tomorrow morning he come to office and he see that file server 1 was crashed, and he is no longer FT. Then he say, okay, no problem. Do one thing. He start to open, run bt.com employee back form. Now this time it will take some time because oh, Sid was not log off. Okay, just a minute. I'm going to log off. Okay. Now, Sid not aware that file server 1 was stopped or what. He can start work and again he can start working on it. Is that clear or not? Just to show you this part, this was the entire practicals that we did. This was the DFS done today. Is very, very important because there are many questions asked you from DFS. Is that clear or not? At least kindly say like this, yes, I confident, or yes, it's clear.
Yes.
So everyone is saying like that. Everyone in the same point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I don't know why you guys are not coming for this, practical. At least come and practical, because until unless you do not do the practicals, your confidence will never come. I mean, telling you everyone. Gloria did practicals regularly. Gopal also comes regularly. Rest of 3 pupils are not coming. Now it's up to you. I'm not forcing you. I'm just telling you, if you are managing the practical some other else, then fine. But if you are not doing, just watching the video, your confidence will never come. I'm guaranteed, telling you. Guaranteed. Always keep your practical up to date as per the class wise, or else your confidence never come. How many times you watch the video? Never. During your practical, you will face a lots of challenge. Gloria, did you face first time you can do practical with one shot, or you will face many challenges? Tell them, everyone. Because you and Gopal are regularly
Yes, many challenges.
Yes. Once you mitigate the challenges, then only you will learn. Any technology, let's say VMware, or let's say AD, let's say Windows, cloud, anything. So it's up to you. I'll just tell you the protocols. Now if you have to, think you will do it or not, it's up to you. I can provide you the server, I can provide you the training. Now how will you learn? It's up to you. Now tell me, ask me question, whatever in your mind. And because yes, infrastructure is very critical for this DFS, but it's very easy. And concept, if you have the concept, you can blindly, you can implement the solution. If you understand the concept. Any doubt? Blessan, Sunil, Santosh, Chetan, Gopal. Chetan?
I had one question only.
Yes.
It's actually not definitely related to this. I have something related to cloud actually. Same way.
If you related to cloud, ask me different question. I am asking from there only.
Here I don't think. I will do practical first, and then if I have any problem, then I'll
Yes.
ask. Yeah.
Because why I am telling you don't ask different question, it will confuse other people. If you are asking any question here, I am telling you that other people will be confused. Don't do that.
No, it's a very easy question actually.
Yes, tell me, ask.
My question was here what we did with server, is it the almost same procedure we have with the cloud, or it's like different thing altogether?
That is why I am telling you, the concept will clear you. Cloud is a different solution. Why I am going to cloud? When to go with cloud? My question answer is, when I will go to the cloud, and when I am going to the on-premises. The first things I will go with cloud whenever my infrastructure is not permit. That client side, there is no data center. There is many problem in the network connectivity. Then only I'll go with cloud solutions. Because in cloud solutions, you have to pay every hour, every seconds. The cloud is a good. Cloud is always the fine. We will learn the many things on cloud. But cloud solution, on-premises solutions are different. On-premises is what? If you have a data center, then why you are going to cloud? If you do not have the data centers, or if you don't want to create the data center, then I have to go with cloud. Clear?
Okay. So now, because the new concept has come, hybrid cloud, something like it's a combination.
Hybrid
of
cloud
server
is different. Hybrid cloud is Azure Active Directory, a combination of Active Directory and Azure Active Directory. It's a totally critical concept. Don't include here. That's all I will cover, brother. Don't worry. All I will cover here. Just take one by one. If you think that if you jump this session and directly go to the cloud, even if once you go to the cloud, you will not be able to work, because all will be ABCD you have to get from here. First, on premises.
That's what I'm asking. That is it the same concept, or the concept is different?
Server concept is same, because whatever we are doing, it's inside of server, right?
Yeah.
So you can install same Windows 2012 on cloud. You can install same Windows 2012 your on premises. So both the cases, operating system is same, but data center technology is different. Here you are creating server on specific host. There you will create computer on cloud servers. But your Windows server will be the same whatever right now.
Okay.
I don't know how many people have that different concept on cloud. Cloud just give you the data center view. I'm telling you just what. If you have a question, anything on cloud, I'm showing you. It's portal.azure.com. First you have to go, okay? Just a minute. So this is your cloud portal. You got my point? From there you have to create your virtual machines. And this is a cloud hosted server. If you go to the virtual machine, you have to create there. This is a different data center because here you no need to take a risk of your data center costing anyone. Instead of this, you are creating your own machines, and that machine was taken care by Microsoft Data Center. You no need to take care of this. Now everywhere OS will be the same now. 2016, 2012, everything same OS will be there. The concept first, that is I'm telling you now. Windows Server Active Directory is the bread and butter. First learn it. Then this is the advanced concept. You told me hybrid cloud. What is the definition of hybrid cloud? Understand? Tell me the understand. What? Tell me your understanding. What do you mean by the hybrid cloud? Use something, listen from someone and you are telling here. The basically hybrid cloud is the combination of your on-premises infrastructure and cloud infrastructure by the syncing of Azure Active Directory or Azure AD Connect. It's called hybrid cloud. So it's very advanced level of knowledge. First you have to understand Windows Server Active Directory, then we will move to the virtual computing, VMware, then we move to the cloud. That is why the course was designed, brother. If you are jumping into the one day, one night and king yourself as I am a cloud king, it will not possible.
No, but I just had a question. Like, it's the same concept or concept is different?
Concept is totally different. Totally different. But the basic things, server will be the same. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. I think everyone is in the same page, same understanding. Okay. In queue, if you have any query, then I will quit my session. Okay. Goodbye. I'm sending you the video.
Thank you.